The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Bleacher Report, because they're, like the rest of us, just trying to fill the void. They put together a list of the worst trade by every Major League Baseball team since the year 2000.
Oh.
You guys want to take a guess? Dad fights us tomorrow. This doesn't count for anything. You want to take a guess as to, for the Minnesota Twins, what will be considered the worst trade since the year 2000?
Well, I can tell you the worst trade in history, I would say. One of them.
What was the worst
Tom
trade?
Bernansky for Tommy Herr.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that.
You lost your...
I lost my mind on that day.
You lost your temper over that just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. That was a terrible trade. Since 2000.
2000, that's a tough one.
How about when they traded Pat Mears
I
to
don't
Pittsburgh?
remember. Okay, I remember that trade, but that's not the winner.
Okay.
Maybe more. It'll help you, I think, to think of who we got in return. Who we got in return.
I'm going to say the one that, since 2000, the one that comes to my mind is when I don't remember exactly who they got for him, when they traded Johan Santana to the Mets.
No,
that was a good deal. They got a bunch of guys for that.
It's when they brought over Del Young.
Oh, gosh.
They're saying the Del Young trade, November of 2007.
Oh,
Twins get...
Wasn't Matt Garza involved with that one?
Yes. Twins get Del Young, Brendan Harris, and a guy by the name of Jason Preedy. The Tampa Bay Rays got Matt Garza, Jason Bartlett, and a right-handed pitcher named Eddie Moreland.
Yeah.
Now, they make mention that...
There was a time when Del was,
Oh, well, he had a great first season, I think, if I remember it correctly.
He was...
He had a great first
season. What made that trade really bad was the fact I think they thought Brendan Harris was going to be better than he was.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
He never developed it.
And Matt Garza and Jason Bartlett were both pretty good contributors for the Rays, who went to the World Series then shortly after that.
Yeah.
But anyway, for 1 year, Del Young was one exciting ass player. He really was. I mean, his first year here, he drove in 112 runs. He had MVP votes.
Yeah.
But then his slump started the following year. Never really broke out of it.
And he never recovered. Yeah.
Never really recovered.
Yep, that's right.
Do you still have the song, Josh?
No. I was looking for it last night. I couldn't find it. It was on the computer that got.
I just looked this up. They traded Santana for Carlos Gomez, Phil Humber, Deolis Guerrera, and Kelvin Mulvey. So that wasn't a great trade either.
Well, but Gomez played for a few years here and actually ended up having a decent career in the majors.
In Milwaukee.
But he played for the Twins and had a small impact.
In Milwaukee.
Humber actually pitched for the Twins for a few years and was decent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Johan was so good when he was he was on.
But they weren't going to pay Johan the money.
I understand.
mean, that's really.
I'm just saying that when he was on, he was unbelievable. Yeah. Carlos Gomez ended up being a very entertaining player to watch. His stats weren't always there, but Carlos was the guy that, his helmet would come flying off when he'd swing and miss.
Remember, he'd smell the bat?
He would smell the bat before he'd take a swing. He was goofy.
He drove Gardy crazy.
Yeah. He scored that winning run in game 163, bruh.
Yeah.
That's right. He scored the winning run.
He had his moments.
You want to hear some hockey stories? You want to hear some Gordie Howe stories? Now, this comes from a website called Bro Bible. Yesterday was the 4th anniversary of Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey, 4th anniversary of his death at 88 years old. If you're a younger person, legendary guy. Played from 1946 to 1980. That's 34 years playing professional hockey.
Amazing.
Won 4 cups, won 6 MVPs. Wayne Gretzky's hero. He still has the 4th all-time point total in the NHL. Gordie Howe. Bro Bible did a little digging to find some great stories on what made Howe such a legend. One of them, now I mentioned that Gretzky idolized Gordie Howe like every other Canadian kid, and plenty of American kids as well. But when Wayne was a rookie, before he became the great one and had 6-7 guys looking out for him at all times, he got the same rookie hazing and they beat his ass on the ice like any other rookie. Veterans pick on rookies. That's no secret. And even back in '78, this was still a thing. Hey, rookie, I'm going to beat your ass till you earn it. Well, at one point or another, Wayne, playing in the WHA for the Indianapolis Racers, this is 1978, he's 17, is playing against Gordie Howe, who I would imagine at the time was playing for the Hartford Whalers. I could be wrong about that. But doesn't matter. So, no, it couldn't have been the Whalers. But anyway, so it's Gretzky against Howe on the ice. Wayne says third or fourth shift in the game, Wayne took the puck away from Gordie. And before Wayne knew it, he got slashed on the hand so hard he thought that his thumb had been broken. Gordie takes the puck from him and says, "Don't you ever take the puck from me." And Wayne said, "Okay." I can just see that moment where they lock eyes, This is my hero. Yeah. I just upset my hero. Even though I'm trying to win the game, I'm trying to become a somebody too. That's still your hero. And also, one story about back in must have been the 50s. I don't have it exactly in front of me. Gordie Howe used an ashtray for a nut cup. His gear got misplaced before a game, so he had to scramble to find equipment so he could play. The one thing he couldn't find or borrow was a cup. And he wanted to protect the family jewels, so he grabbed an ashtray from the locker room, stuffed it in his underwear, and he was good to go.
That's a man's man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back when they used to smoke in the locker room. And also, something I never read about, had heard about Gordie Howe, that he was ambidextrous. He could shoot right-handed, and then if he felt like getting cute, he could play just as well left-handed. I never heard about that. Never heard about that. The old ashtray for a nut cup.
We should post that article because there's a few pretty funny things in there, too, that you didn't get to.
Some of the stories got a little long.
Yeah.
But there's a couple others in there.
You're looking to kill some time.
Yeah, right. Why not put that damn thing up on 93X.com?
We'll get that up there.
Ooh, Invergrove Heights Jesus wants to get in on this worst Twins trade. He says, boy, this one, I didn't like this one either because I like the guy's potential. Wilson Ramos for Matt Capps.
That was a terrible trade.
You remember that one?
That one I would put ahead of the other one.
Yeah.
Because Ramos, fabulous catcher.
He's still playing, isn't he?
He is still playing. That was a terrible trade. Speaking of baseball,
wasn't Denard Span involved in that one? Maybe not.
Not on that one.
Yeah,
that was
ahead.
a straight up trade between because the Twins needed a closer.
Yeah.
Mentioning baseball, that just quick little shout out to Max Meyer this morning, the pitcher for the Gophers and out of Woodbury, drafted number 3 last night by the Miami Marlins.
Nice.
So he's the highest Minnesota player drafted since Joe Mauer went number 1.
Damn.
So
I was reading about
congratulations
that.
to him.
Yeah, good for him, U of M kid. I was reading the Twins with the 27th picked University of North Carolina power hitter named Aaron Sabato. You've heard of him?
Mr. Sabato.
Dude.
That's awesome.
If he makes it, we're going to make you sing the song, Randy.
Mr. Sabato.
Domo arigato,
Mr.
Sabato.
Domo.
There you go.
He hit 18 home runs for the North Carolina Tar Heels last season. This is what grabbed me. He's been compared to current MLB sluggers Pete Alonso and Kyle Schwarber in terms of raw power.
That's two guys that I love the comparison because those guys can clobber it.
Brad, when you were coming out of Clara City High School, what major league pitcher would you think you would have was a fair comparison?
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say, no disrespect to everybody else, but Jack Morris.
Oh, my God.
Man. Jack Morris, huh?
I couldn't throw over. I threw in the mid-'80s in high school and in college.
Did you have that bulldog mentality?
I did, and I had a split finger, so that's kind of, I like the fact that he threw that, and that's when I was in junior high, I picked it up because I had long fingers. So
Randy probably thinks he could have gone 4 for 4 off of you. What do you think, Randy, with that split finger? You got an eye for that pitch?
First of all, I'm sure he walked the hell out of the opposition. So,
oh, come on now. For many years, I had the strikeout record at my high school.
Tune in for dad
when you were
fights
batting
tomorrow.
or pitching?
Yeah, right. This will even get more heated up tomorrow, Dad Fights 4, with our special guest, Jordan Parisi. Speaking of pitchers, 30 years ago today, Nolan Ryan threw his 6th no-hitter, which made him the oldest the oldest player to throw a no-hitter. The following season, he broke his own record.
Wasn't he like 40?
43.
43.
Yeah, over 40.
Then
That's
the following
amazing.
year, he threw another one at 44 years old.
And remember, this is not like Wilbur Wood and throwing a knuckleball. He's throwing a fastball at 43 years old.
Nolan Ryan
That's almost as old as Big Sexy was.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And throwing consistent complete games,
that's
too.
incredible.
Yeah, he was a machine.
Not going 5 innings. He's going 9 innings.
That is incredible.
He was a machine.
Minnesota Town Ball, there's a couple leagues, by the way, just mentioning baseball. They're starting play this weekend. I'm not sure if they're supposed to.
What about in Brownton? Are they playing in Brownton?
I saw a tweet last night from I think it was the Stearns County League up in the St. Cloudish area. They're playing this weekend.
What were they? The Brownton, Bears? Was that their nickname?
Bears?
Brownton Bears.
The Bears, I think it was.
Oh, well, the high school team was the Bears.
I'm talking about the town ball team.
Yep, Bears.
Yeah. All right, speaking of pitching, this is something I wanted to get to yesterday, and I lost it in the mix. But it's close enough. 76 years ago yesterday, in 1944, a 15-year-old kid named Joe Nuxhall became the youngest pitcher in Major League history when he made his debut for the Cincinnati Reds. 15 years, 10 months, and 11 days old, and he came in relief for the Reds against the St. Louis Cardinals. I'd never heard of this before.
Remember, though, that's during World War II.
Yes.
So a lot of players were serving the country.
Right.
And so...
But I didn't of course, everyone knows that. Yeah. I didn't realize 15-year-olds were getting involved because of that. At least one of them.
That's amazing. He ended up having a pretty long career, did he not?
I'd never heard of it before.
That name is very familiar.
If maybe I forgot. It's news to me, unless the liquor wiped it out of my memory. But
I think he played for quite a few years.
It didn't go terribly well. He walked 5 batters in less than an inning. But there he was, 15-year-old kid. Can you imagine that?
No.
At 15?
But there's a lot of things hard to imagine back in that time, too.
But they would have laughed their ass off at your weak split finger pitch.
Somebody just messaged me and said it's the Brownton Bruins.
Bruins.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brownton Bruins. Let's get it right, boys.
15-year-old kid pitching in the bigs.
Well, see, now, what you've done is you've opened the can of worms because I'm sure the Clara City Flash thought back in the day he had his shot, too. That at 15 years old with a split finger.
If there would have been a war going on, I'd have been...
So you were just one war away from Major League Baseball.
I'd have been standing on the mound at Met Stadium.
You really are the best spin master ever.
If there would have been a war.
That's all he needed.
One more
That's
away.
a beautiful way to put it.
A decade too late on that one.
Damn.
The Vietnam War would have been a little later. I would have been there.
Oh, my God. That's just classic.
You
I'd
think...
have had a room at the Thunderbird. And,
It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Tell you what, people, you think you've been cheated. Brad Ryder had the rug pulled right out from under him.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks. Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
John brings his skewed sense of humor. Jeff brings tips to cut strokes off your next round. Together, it's those weekend golf guys.
They'll pay a lot of money to PXG and Titleist and Callaway and on and on and on, right? How many yards do you think you're going to pick up with that extra driver? I think I can get an extra 5 to 10. What if I give you 15 to 20? You pay me more.
Jeff Smith teaches on the sliding scale.
Those Weekend Golf Guys, the podcast, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Boy, your breath smells. Must be National Garlic Day today. Paddle around the lake. It's National Bicycle Day today. Make some sticky rice. Put it in a ball. That's right. Rice Ball Day. Hope you're nice and warm. Wear your pajamas to work all day. April 19th, Garlic Day. April 19th, Bicycle Day.
What did Wapple say in his song? Something about today is a National Pajamas Day. If we all walked into work...
Pajamas at Work Day, specifically.
Okay, right. If we all would have come in today in our pajamas, what we wear to bed, what will we all look like?
Naked. Boxers.
Naked, really?
Yuck.
God, that's gross.
T-shirt and underwear.
T-shirt and underwear, Wapple says.
Sorry to put that mental image in your head this early in the morning.
You don't really sleep naked, do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the matter with you?
Don't you get cold?
No.
Don't you worry about getting stuff on your sheets?
Yeah.
That's what I'd worry about.
Stuff on the sheets.
Oh, I wash my sheets.
Like every day, though?
I never wash my sheets.
Or you roll over and things get tucked in weird spots.
That's my... Where's your bell, Wapple? That's what I've tried it. Didn't like it.
Really? What do you sleep in then, Nick?
Pair of drawers.
Pair of drawers?
Okay, so I'm in my drawers. Wapple drawers.
Yep.
Ashley has the T-shirt in the drawers. Cubby drawers. And a T-shirt.
Well, actually, I wear a full scuba suit. I sweat so bad. I need to do something for the moisture.
You like to keep everything inside, too. Marinate.
I usually freeze to death. You sweat, I freeze to death. If we ever become a couple, Josh, we're probably going to have to sleep in separate rooms. What's with the sleeping naked? Here's where I was going with that. I've tried it before, and I didn't like it because of what Wapple was saying. I ended up squashing my this and rolling over on top of my that, and it just wasn't. For that reason, I couldn't quite get her done.
Oddly enough, I like sweat way more if I'm completely naked.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I don't know what it is. My body just doesn't like it.
All right, so Dana,
I tried it once, and I wasn't a fan.
What was bothering you about it? The squishing?
Just kind of a little bit of everything. Like I said, I worried about what's going to end up on there. Certainly the squishing around.
And I got to be honest with you.
What if somebody saw me and they'd be disgusted? Kind of like the mental image I have of Dana right now.
You wake up and the covers are off and it's just full Josh exposed.
You know what? That's a thing, too. That crossed my mind, too. What if I kick the covers off and someone has to walk into my bedroom and my hairy ass is up in the air or something like that. That's horrible.
I've seen that before, actually, in Kansas City, on that trip. My buddy who I was sharing a hotel room with, I woke up and he's completely naked on top of the bed.
Don't do that.
And then I stepped on a used condom. It was terrible.
Oh, Jesus.
Gosh. No, I love that story. That's a good one.
What have you been through?
He stepped on a used condom.
I mean, we're good enough friends where we got past that.
Nah, man, no.
But that's one of the grossest things I've ever been a part of.
There's not a single person in my life that I'm close enough to where I'd be able to get past that.
Cubby, I'll step on your used condoms any day of the week.
I could handle yours. I don't think I'd even feel weird about it.
So,
barefoot, just to make sure everybody knows, I was barefoot. I woke up.
You weren't wearing your sex socks, huh?
No, I didn't have any sex socks on. I woke up, I got out of bed, I see him naked, I cover him up, more for me than him. And I walk into the bathroom, and I step on a condom because he had one of the bridesmaids in that bathroom.
I would throw up immediately.
No, I am a little mad at the guy, even though this is one of my favorite all-time Cubby stories. I'm a little mad at your buddy that he didn't show you more respect than to just throw the condom on the floor.
He was that drunk.
Well, but still.
What bothered me more was that they were in our hotel bathroom going at it at like 3 a.m. And I cranked up the air conditioning, not just because I was hot, but also for the noise, to drown everything out.
Sure.
And then the air conditioning went out.
Oh, no.
It just stopped working.
And plus, the disrespect there. I mean, you guys were young, right? You were very young.
Oh, yeah. This is, like I said, I said 15, 20 years ago. It might even have been more.
Yeah, I think it was, because I remember I would show more respect to you in that category also. I wouldn't just be banging some stranger in the bed next to you in the damn, you know what I'm talking about? Let's go into the bathroom, you animal.
Well, they were in the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They were in the bathroom.
They weren't in the bed next to you?
No.
All right, then I won't get on them for that. All right.
But she was one of the loudest, strangest sounding women I've ever heard. I mean, it was weird. It could have been because she had a thick Southern accent. Maybe that added to it.
What were some of the noises like? Can you imitate?
Well, I don't want to imitate any, just in case Dana's mom's listening. But it was a lot of daddy talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like, F me, daddy. And then she called him something else. Oh, darn it. She had some other name for him. And then she sent him flowers the next day.
Whoa! That's when you know you hit that spot.
You found it?
Yep.
That's what we're looking for.
There was another nickname, a pet name other than Daddy?
Yeah.
Was it Stepdaddy?
Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, I remember it now.
Grandpa?
This all comes together. She kept saying something like, take my flower. And then that's why she sent flowers the next day.
What the hell?
Take my flower, hit that flower.
Oh, that's horrible.
I know. Like I said, it didn't make sense.
That's like what you say like the first time you ever have sex, kind of. That's what I feel like that's what people say, like, oh, he took my flower.
That's why I'm kind of thrown by that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I can't tell you for sure. She didn't come across as the type of person that wobbled herself until that age, but maybe.
Now, let's not forget.
I kind of forgot about that. But I came back with a whole case of barbecue sauce, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, hey, then, it all comes out as a win.
Let's not forget that we should be ganging up on Dana right now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Dana, you're weird.
The other thing, aside from
that, actually.
One quirk.
Aside from the squishing and the crushing of my genitalia, aside from the idea of, oh, God, what if I kick the covers off? And someone has to, no one should have to see. I remember the 3 times I attempted to sleep in the nudes. I remember waking up one morning after a decent night's sleep in the nude. And when I got out of bed, I just kind of looked at myself and said, Jesus Christ, what am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
What the hell am I doing? Look at me. So when did sleeping naked start for you?
I think in college, I want to say. So it's been about 15 years or so.
I would have thought younger. What makes a guy want to start in college? Because of your roommates? You wanted to give them a show?
Yeah, just, wanted to show off a little bit. No, but I do sometimes worry about, what would happen if there all of a sudden was a fire and I had to, run out of my building, for safety, and I'm just bare ass naked and standing outside like, hey, everybody, hey, 235 right here. Yep, that's me.
When you still had a dog living with you, did the dog sleep in the bed with you?
No, the dog would usually sleep on the floor.
All right, that matters. Okay.
Do you still wear your headband?
And if so, where?
No, I take that off. I'm completely just buck-ass naked.
Well, everybody's different.
Did your wife ever say anything about it? I mean, was she, or maybe you were both nudists.
She did.
No, she had actual pajamas she would wear, but I would just sleep naked.
She'd have what kind of pajamas?
Pajamas.
Oh, he said actual pajamas.
Actual pajamas,
okay.
yeah, like actual pajama sets and stuff.
Oh my God!
Whereas I would just let it all hang out.
I just can't do that. I can't do it.
Well, it's good that you told us. In case we ever want to prank you, like waking you up by throwing some water on your face or crashing some cymbals together.
Yeah, just knock real loud before you. I usually have soccer shorts next to the bed. I can throw them on quick.
Hit the fire alarm.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather be caught naked than wearing soccer shorts. You know what I mean? I think Josh makes a good point. I'm glad we finally talked about this because if we ever do an out-of-town type of a thing together as a morning program, I'm not rooming with Dana.
Well, yeah, you'd make an exception, would you not? I sure hope.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I'm staying in a hotel room with people or something, or I'm saying, yeah, absolutely. Then I sleep in some drawers or at least a shirt or something.
Now, you run
Shirt,
hot.
nothing else.
She's just a shirt. You run hot as well.
Yeah, I Pooh Bear it. Yeah, I do.
So is that what's behind it?
That's part of the reason, too, yeah. Because otherwise I sweat in my sleep.
Well, there are plenty of people here on our text machine who enjoy sleeping naked. You're getting some support. This is the only place you'll get support. If you're sleeping naked. It's comfy, says a few people. No, it's not. I found that it was not. I found many times during the night I was kneeling on my own testicles and some. It didn't work for me.
I think too much about I don't know, just random things that could happen. Like, what if you get a spider in the bed? And then the spider has full access to everything.
Well, I don't live in Wisconsin, Ashley, so I don't have to worry about that.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Spider vag.
I mean, that's why a cockroach is a cockroach. It had access and it took advantage.
Vertically challenged Jesus said she sleeps in a tank and undies, but sometimes one boob is sliding out of the armhole when she wakes up.
I
LOL.
hate when that
It's kind of hot.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
In Pasadena, Texas, a now hiring sign was put up there on the street. And it has some folks cracking up. Others are greatly offended. The owner of a joint called Pets Gone Wild Resort put up the hiring sign last Tuesday morning. It says, quote, now hiring non-stupid people.
That might hurt my feelings if they put one up here. When did you guys make the change?
Yeah. Does this mean I'm out?
Hey, Ashley, look at my computer real quick.
Oh, that's adorable.
This is their website.
Cute. Look at those little glasses.
Pets Gone Wild Resort has a dog with some sunglasses on. He can pull off these sunglasses. I still couldn't.
He looks so cool.
He does look
relaxed.
cool.
Wow, so they'll take your dog or cat for the weekend kind of a thing?
Yeah.
They say if you're driving around town, this sign is hard to miss. The owner of the joint is a fella named Walter Parsons. Parsons said the resort has been trying to fill positions for a while. They've made postings online, but haven't had many applicants. And the employees that they've hired haven't worked out. He said, we hired one person last week that lasted only 3 days. It's kind of funny here. Walter played out what it's been like with some of the people they've hired recently. He said, I've had to repeatedly say, get off your cell phone, you've got dogs to watch. 20 minutes later, she's back on her cell phone. And then he puts this line in here, which I think is kind of cute. He wants his employees to be, quote, at least be as smart as I am.
Man, because you guys know me, I'm addicted to my cell phone, but I think one of the few things that can really get me away from my cell phone is playing with dogs. If I had the opportunity to look at my cell phone or play with some puppies,
I'm playing with the puppies.
I like that you went that route instead of you're at work and supposed to be working. A lot of people said, the one thing that keeps me away from my cell phone is I'm at work. I'm being paid to do some work.
So this Walter Parsons, he's had trouble hiring people that are worth a rip. So he tried this new approach. He found the now hiring non-stupid people sign on Amazon. Old man Parsons says the main reason they got the sign was to grab people's attention. He said within 24 hours they got 3 solid applicants and have no more use for the sign. It worked. But not everyone is happy, like I was saying. One comment from someone in the neighborhood named Taylor said, "What does that say to prior employees? Oh, we think you're stupid, so we're trying to hire somebody that we think is smarter than you?" Taylor was appalled when she saw the sign, saying there are other non-offensive ways to grab attention. He or she said, the fact that they felt so embodied to put something up there like that, it's disgusting, it's distasteful, it's unprofessional. Oh, my damn, calm down.
It also has nothing to do with her.
Yeah, Taylor sounds kind of stupid.
She's not getting hired there. Obviously, certain things are going to affect people, and go ahead, you can have your feelings, but it is always bizarre to me when they use words like appalled. They're appalled. And how good of a life do you have where a sign that has nothing to do with you has you appalled and is focusing all your attention? And you're alerting the media and things like that.
It's like a sickness. But others in town said they really got a kick out of it.
Would you ever want to own a business nowadays?
Hell no.
No way. I mean, just things like this. You're criticized because you'd prefer it if people, I don't know, worked when they're supposed to work.
I would never even entertain the idea of owning a business and having to hire employees because one minute they're with you and the next minute you just don't even know what's possible anymore. People are so ready to...
I told you I had met a guy, a carpenter. He was doing some work at my house. He stole my extension cord, but whatever. That's not a part. That's really not a part of the story. But he was telling me he had a guy that was supposed to be working with him. He's like, hey, just so you know, my guy's not showing up. He went for lunch and never came back. And I know, Nick, I've told you the story, but he's calling the guy like, hey, is everything okay? He thought something terrible happened to him. And the guy's like, yeah, I'm in line for a PS5. Oh, yeah. Like, what do you mean you're in line? Well, he's like, yeah, I mean, it comes out today. What am I going to do? He's like, well, you're supposed to be working. You didn't think to take the day off at least or say anything? And the kid acted as if...
he didn't get it.
No, like, the boss doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Now, he is right. That might have been his only time, only opportunity in a long time to get his PS5. But you're supposed to be at work. And not just take it off and tell your boss, what's your problem, man?
What do you mean? How are you not understanding this? I am trying to buy a PS5. What is so hard to understand?
I mean, I could work any day. This is PS5 day. Man, just owning a business nowadays, that I don't envy, though. I mean, it seems like the American dream, right? Until you hear these stories more and more. This is what you got to put up with.
Well, I know a couple of dudes who run their own business, and the number one problem is nobody wants to show up on time.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to show up on time.
Yep, I've got some friends in the trade, same thing.
They want to get started at 7 a.m., but they're on their own because their staff was like, 8, 8:15, 8:30.
Or this. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Just refusing to.
That's part of the gig. Yeah, not for me, it's not.
I remember being a young kid in those warehouse jobs. I was intimidated by the boss. This is going to sound crazy, but I did whatever the hell the guy asked me to.
Me too.
Want to know why? Because he's the effing boss.
I'm pretty sure when I started here, our boss at the time had me commit crimes for him.
Yeah.
I got to do what you got to do, I guess.
There were some sketchy things that went on, and I even asked him, are you sure? Like the time that I was on the payroll where I drove to Wisconsin to pick up a snowmobile he was buying off of Craigslist.
Right.
And I thought, this is okay. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm the boss. I kind of make the... I'm like, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Nick, you had mentioned, how frustrating it is when people just decide, I'm going to come in whenever I want. Here's a start time. So I got a text saying, currently running late to work. You guys know how to make a guy feel like a winner. Not you, dude. We're talking about everybody else.
Yeah, see, okay, so back to that conversation about how people actually used to do what they were told by their boss without issue. I remember, maybe you had to be there, but when I first started driving a forklift, the boss was this ripped dude. He was intimidating in the first place, but also a very funny guy. But I hadn't gotten to know him yet. Once you got to know him, the guy was a riot. This was a guy, Josh, who loved to dance his ass off in the warehouse.
Yeah.
We would listen to KDWB back in the day.
Nice.
Because the majority of our employees liked pop music, so me and my buddy who I worked with always got outvoted. They wanted to listen to pop music.
Well, and depending on the era, they played, some hair metal back in the day. Well, maybe metal strong.
Dude, I can recite to you what KDWB played during this time period.
And it wasn't any of that?
Well, the one tune you might consider to be rock or metal that was huge at the time was High Enough by Damn Yankees.
Oh, I enjoyed that song.
That was on every hour. Other than that, it was all pop garbage, and I didn't enjoy it, but like I said, we got outvoted. But anyway, this dude, the boss, the warehouse manager, who I ended up loving, I didn't know him yet, and he was ripped because he did time, right? I mean, this was a kind of a dangerous dude. He did some time. And I was new on the forklift, and he's training me in how to lift high, heavy pallets full of this, and he's training me in. And it was nerve-wracking. And I did it 3-4 times. I lifted this giant pallet up on top of another, and I did it over and over again. And I thought I was done. And he said, do it again. And I turned to the guy, and I said, why? Because I'd already done it 4 or 5 times. He walks up into my face. Our noses are touching. And he said, because I asked you to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I didn't question that dude ever again.
No, he owned you.
Not only was he just the boss, but, I knew the guy had dealt with much, much tougher characters than myself.
I mean, you might never say it on the air, but you actually have respect for our boss. Nick?
Well, not really, no.
Oh, there you are.
No, not really.
A little bit.
Of course I do. I like the guy a lot. I do have respect for that man.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks. Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Afford Anything talks about how to avoid common pitfalls, how to refine your mental models, and how to think about how to think.
Paula, while certainly you can mess up on $1 million a year, it is far less likely than it is on $30,000 a year.
Right.
I would meet wonderful people that were struggling with a budget that was super tight. It was 100% you need to make more money.
Make smarter choices and build a better life.
Afford Anything, wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
This week's been going by fast. I hope I didn't just upset somebody who feels the opposite, but usually it seems like we're simpatico on that type of thing.
I would agree with you, Josh.
Oh, it's been so slow.
Has it really?
Oh, my God.
Is it all the marijuana you smoke?
No, it's just been tough week.
Waffles had a lot going on.
Tough week.
You're
That's true.
slow.
That's true. I forgot you had to put down your booby.
Yeah.
And
bury him yesterday and everything. Yeah, Waffles had
I still have the calluses. Actually,
what are we talking about?
His when he mentioned yesterday he had to put this dog down.
Oh no.
I shouldn't say had to. They just chose to.
The
dog was completely fine.
He was totally fine.
Yeah, he was fine. It took him by
healthy puppy.
Yeah,
took him by surprise. It was kind of a blood sacrifice for Halloween.
I was like, it just worked out perfect. It had to be Halloween.
You had to bury the dog. You had to get rid of the dog. What about calluses? What did you dig the hole?
Yeah.
You dug the hole?
Yeah.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
We've yet to. We said our dog got sick out of nowhere. I forgot what they called it. Maybe bloat.
No.
Where her stomach got flipped upside down. She's an older dog. We rushed her to the emergency room and for vet. And the vet said, listen, we could operate, but she's old. She's going to be miserable, and she's not going to survive long anyways. She's in a lot of pain, so they put her down. We had her cremated, which I didn't know you could do with the dog. And so we've yet to bury her ashes. We're going to be doing that. So, Wapple, if you wouldn't mind digging the hole. I don't want to do that.
I've done it once.
I did it for a living for a long time. I don't want to dig any more holes.
Yeah,
so you went old school and you dug a hole in your folks' backyard and threw the dog the dog in there?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That's what we've done with all of our pets.
Well, that's what we did when we were little kids. I know that much. You still do it today.
Yeah,
chuck them out in the yard.
Yeah, if it would have been maybe like a month, into maybe like 2 more weeks or something, probably wouldn't have done it just because the ground would have been frozen.
Yeah, ours was in March.
That would have been miserable.
And so we could have waited. We just haven't done it yet. But so, are you allowed to bury a full dog in a year? Well, maybe don't answer that question.
I don't know the rules on that. And how deep did you go, for Christ's sake?
6 feet under?
No, you did not dig a 6-foot hole.
Come on now.
What?
It was deep. Deep.
Well, why? It was a dog, not a horse. Why'd you dig so deep?
That's what I thought you
didn't go 6 feet.
Yes.
There's no way you dug a 6-foot hole. Wapple, do you understand how deep that is?
Yes.
So
you could have stood up inside the hole.
Essentially Dana.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because Dana, what, you're 6'2"?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What are you... Wapple, why are you doing this? There's no way you dug a hole that Dana could stand up in.
Yeah.
To put a dog in.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't have to do a full human length, like laying down. It was.
What, did you use like an auger? Or do you actually just use a shovel?
We used a shovel and like that giant, like old school tiny thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show you an old school tiny thing.
Where you kind of squeeze it?
No,
a post hole digger?
It looks like an axe, kind of. And it's got that, like.
Okay.
Like a miner tool.
Okay. Like a pickaxe kind of thing?
Yeah, but bigger. You use it to break the ground.
All right, go outside. Okay. You got to dig us what you think is a 6-foot hole.
I am done digging holes.
I really thought when we started talking about Wapple's dog dying, I was thinking to myself, I'll be honest with you, I don't know where we're going to go with this. But now we've kind of we've gotten lucky here. We've gotten lucky. You really believe that you dug 6 feet down into the earth?
Yes.
Your dad was there to supervise this?
Yeah, he was there.
And he said, just keep her going, son. Go 6 feet.
Yeah. We were like, well, I think we got to go more.
Why?
So we kept going down.
Why'd you go so deep? It's just...
It's just a thought 6 feet under. And it's like, you don't want to do it so much that all of a sudden now someone comes across it in like 10 years.
Here's a good question. Did you call go for one before you dug? You got to call before you dig. Call before you dig.
What if you would have blown your dad up when you hit a gas line or so? I still don't believe you went 6 feet. I don't know if you
were way in the backyard. My parents have a decent amount of land.
Okay, great.
In some states, you have to go like at least 4 feet, 6 feet deep.
For what?
If you bury a pet in your yard.
Well, you'd have to here, certainly. So, but I wasn't sure in the rules. We had a dog die when I grew up in Minneapolis, and we were told we weren't allowed to bury her in the backyard. So we ended up just we dropped her to the side of 35W.
Oh, bro.
Well, your listeners are saying it's got to be deep so they don't get dug up by a critter. Trust me, I've done this before. We did this when we were kids, and we would dig just enough to fit the dog in there. Throw some. No critters ever dug it up or anything.
Like a little kid's playing in the backyard, and all of a sudden they dig it up and come across.
Well, what little kid's going to be playing in my back? I wish I would have been there, because I would have said to you and your dad, "What are the two of you doing here? You're going 6 feet taller than you are."
Did you use a grub axe? People are telling me maybe it's called a grub axe.
Google that. Well, I hope this was a very good dog, because if you're telling us the truth, then wow, did you put in a great effort for him or her?
Yes, it was a grub axe.
6 stinking feet. He keeps going and going. No, it's not deep enough.
And I was sweating my ass off, and I'm like, okay, I think we're good. And then we tried to put the dog in, and it was way too short.
Okay.
And then we just, all right, we're going to keep going and going and going.
A dark comedy.
This is weird. Yeah, this is just weird. What kind of dog was it?
Pretty much a mutt. He was like...
how big was he or she?
95 pounds.
Oh, big
he
dog.
was like
a fairly big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a German Shepherd mixed with golden lab, black lab, just a bunch of other...
Product of an orgy.
Pretty much.
That is hilarious.
So, yeah, I'm just picturing you in this 6 foot, because you're what, 5'9"?
Yeah.
So you could have gotten into it and it would have been above your head.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Missed opportunity there.
Oh.
I've never heard of that. What happened?
It's good Barry Wobble.
Oh, yeah.
Bad timing, Jesus says, my brother's dog got buried 10 feet up a tree where the cougar left it.
Oh.
That's like a scene out of Dog Predator. That's rough.
What does he mean by that? A cougar killed his dog
I
and
guess left it up the tree.
Gee,
Cougar can go up a tree?
It's the most brutal thing I've ever heard.
That's where they like to be.
Did he see his dog get killed by a cougar?
I don't know. That'd be tough.
I wouldn't like that.
I didn't know cougars are in trees. I just dead by a cougar.
You're thinking they're at the bars, lady. Let me ask you something, Wapple, now. And people are wondering, did you have to have a ladder to get out, I'd imagine?
Yeah, how'd you get out of there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You put a ladder in there.
Mm-hmm.
This person says, my arms get sore digging 6 feet deep holes with a backhoe.
You overdid it, but you and your dad did what you believed was right.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have been in charge of that, there would have been just enough room to fit the dog, and you throw a little dirt over the top and you hope for the best, for Christ's sake. 6 stinking feet.
I mean, that must have took you forever.
Yeah, how long did that take you? Look at you. You're built like Kermit the Frog.
2.5 hours? 2 hours?
And at any point, did you look over at your dead dog and say, for Christ's sake, let's just throw her in a pond?
I was like, how did people do this back in the day? Like, so
well, people didn't do that back in the day.
They left it out for to get eaten or something. I don't know what they did.
Like grave diggers back in the day.
Well, for human beings,
someone had to dig those holes.
For human beings, you make a little bit more of an effort.
Yeah, and I was like, I being that person, that would have sucked. Just doing that hole was enough.
I'm so glad that we started this conversation because I had no idea that you would dump such an amazing story on us.
So this might be at this point kind of a
forgotten. It was an amazing story.
It's an amazing story.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a forgotten joke, but did you dig a hole?
A whole hole.
You did.
It was a whole.
It was a whole hole.
And your dad never said, "All right, what are we doing?" Neither of you's ever had that moment where you thought, what in God's name are we doing still digging this hole for this dog?
No.
I mean, I agree. Like, if we just have the ashes, so I can go down, I'll go down a couple feet or whatever. And Les, text me if I need to go down further than that. But it's not big at all.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine burying the whole dog.
A listener wants to know if you buried the dog standing upright. Was it standing on its back legs?
Oh, that's where we went wrong. No. But I mean, yeah, it was like this big.
So the dog was laying down in the hole.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been there for this.
Did you bury him with anything?
His frisbee.
That's sweet.
I used to always play disc golf, and I would toss the disc golf frisbee for him, and he would chase it. So
Did I ever tell you about my high school buddy who came home from school and found his dead dog in the garbage can?
Oh my gosh.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
Not a toilet.
What's that?
It's not like a toilet that you just throw it out.
Yeah, his dog was sick, and, he came from a family where his dad, didn't consider dogs to be all that important. I think his dad, like my dad growing up, dogs were an afterthought. If anything, they were supposed to be working dogs. You know what I'm saying? Not house pets. Dogs were meant to be kept outside, and maybe they can, hunt, but they weren't meant to be house pets. So this buddy of mine, his dad didn't think too much of the dog or care too much for the dog, and when it died one afternoon while my buddy was at school, the dad just put it in the trash can. So my buddy comes home from school and cracks the lid on his parents' trash can to throw away a can of pop, and there's pickles laying there in the damn thing.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Who threw away pickles?
we're joking around, but obviously that's tough, Wapple. We all know how tough it is to lose an animal, and I think it gets all of us. I mean, not Nick's friend House, but the rest of us feel pretty sad when they lose a family dog or any family pet. So
yeah, that was like the third time I think I've ever seen my dad cry. That was tough.
Oh man, yes.
Because you were 3 feet into a 6-foot hole.
I saw my dad cry twice, and that is rough. One time he knocked me out, and when I came to, he was crying, and of course
knocked you out.
Yeah, he had a temper.
He punched you in the head and knocked you out?
No, well, so I was standing in a door frame. Okay, so my head is close to the door frame, right? You understand?
Oh.
And he was mad at me because I got a D in algebra. And I didn't care about math because I was going to be a touring guitar player, right?
Of course you were going to be a touring guitar player.
And I never, ever talked back to my dad because I was terrified of him. My sister could say whatever, but I never talked back. And all I said was like, Dad, I don't need math. I'm going to grow up and be a guitar player. And he hit me with the palm of his hand in the front of the head.
Oh, like, you stupid son of a...
Yeah, you idiot, you're talking about... And then so the back crashed against this door frame, and next thing I know, I wake up, on the ground, and my dad's sitting there on the stair crying. And, of course, like an abused, spouse or something, I'm saying, dude, it's not your fault, my fault, I shouldn't have said anything, I'll try harder in math. So
I used to get hugs if I got a D.
They were so proud.
Yes.
And we all realized you said if you got a D.
But I was hoping that we could
I'm just saving a text.
Yeah,
Again, it might have just saved a life
when I was
texting and driving.
True. When I received a D grade, my folks were impressed. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I got a lot of Fs. So the old man accidentally...
He didn't mean to.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a hey knucklehead thing, and unfortunately, it was a little harder than he thought. And when you get hit in the back of the head like that, sometimes you go down.
That is one fascinating story, Wapple and Josh.
Well, Wapple again. Truthfully, I know that's tough, and seeing a parent cry, that's also very tough.
Sorry about your bubby.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Everybody's had pets check out, and no, it is not easy. But like I was saying. When we were young kids and we used to bury our pets in the backyard, we did have it easier than you and your dad did yesterday. We just cleared a little bit of soil, and there you go.
Put it in the sandbox.
Good night. Sleep tight. Unbelievable.
You guys going to get a new dog?
No, my dad's done with pets.
Is he?
Yep. Yeah. Plus, he's 65.
What did you just call him?
What?
Your dad's 65?
Yeah.
That's not that old.
Oh, you said
but
plus
I feel
he.
Like with pets and stuff, like, he loves cats, so, I mean, definitely can't get a cat. He'd be 85 by the time the cat checks out.
Well, so what? 85-year-old people love cats.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to do much.
Your dad's 65. He's a young buck, for Christ's sake.
What?
65.
Yeah.
It's not that old.
Now, keep in mind, my dad died when he was 65, but yours is going to be fine.
Oh!
Your dad is going to be fine.
You're acting like your dad's like some old, withering elderly person. He just dug a 6-foot hole with you yesterday. Go visit my folks if you want to see old.
Your parents should be studied.
Oh, God.
They don't necessarily treat themselves very well, but they have, I see them once or twice a year. And they are a lot younger than they are. I mean, they're very aware, very spry. Your dad's hilarious. Your mom's hilarious. I told you, your godson, at your 50th birthday, my son was just in love with your mom.
Because she was so drunk.
She was so wasted.
Yeah.
She was hilarious.
Yeah.
She's all over the place. She was the life of the party.
Yes, she thinks she is.
Well, she was, man. No offense, everybody was great. It was fun hanging out with everybody. Your mom was the life of the party that night.
Well, that was a fun deal. But yeah, Wapple, he's 65.
Yeah, it's not that old.
He's fine. And if he gets a cat that lives 20 and he's 85, so what? Old people, you didn't know old people just love to be crawling with cats? They really do.
Not the
they do.
People I know.
Yeah. Not the people you know.
Hey, man. I know not cat people. People are just not cat people.
Did I ever tell you the story about my mom Well, let's see. How old am I now? 51. So according to Wapple, I'm near death.
Don't get a cat, dude. You're too old for a cat.
Do not get a cat.
Don't even get a house plan to this point.
Well, now, I have cousins that are much younger. So this is 25 some years ago when one of my cousins was just a young kid. And somebody asked this little kid, my cousin, what the little kid thought my mother did for a living. Well, what do you think Aunt Karen does for a living? And the little kid, being a stupid little kid, but being very familiar with my mother and her daily routine, the little kid said, does she teach people how to smoke?
Well, we work across the parking lot from a company. We think what they do for a living is smoke.
They do smoke a lot of cigarettes over there, man.
Doesn't matter what time. I usually pull in our parking lot like 3:28 a.m. Somewhere there's somebody smoking, and then whatever you leave, there's people out there smoking. So I think that they test cigarettes over there. That's their job.
Cigarette tester.
Cigarette smokers, man. They're good people. They don't stick around as long as the rest of us sometimes, but...
Well, that's what, I never brought it up. Yeah, your parents, they've smoked their whole lives,
Oh,
right?
for Christ's sake, and they're still just burning them up.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And what are they... Your dad, is he in his 80s?
Yeah, they're both... Well, yeah, my dad's in his 80s now. My mom's, I think, about ready... I think she'll crack 80 in, what do you call that month, February.
Really?
And you know what they do with it? But they're responsible smokers. Like if they're standing outside smoking a cigarette, when they're done with it, they dig a 4.5-foot hole by hand. They dig a 4.5-foot hole and they put the cigarette down there.
Oh, the calluses.
Yeah. They got the same calluses that you got on your hands. That dog was laying there thinking, you know what? These were good people.
They really were.
Good. Look at the way they're going out of their way for
He
me.
must have had a good life.
What was the dog's name?
Bentley.
Let's call him Schmoopy Butt from now on.
Schmoopy Butt.
From now on.
This person says about the longevity, right? Wapples saying, hey, my dad's 65. He can't get a cat. The cat's going to live 20 years.
My uncle just texted me and said that he's 70. So I'm so way off on ages.
Well, but still.
That's a pretty big gap, dude.
Yeah,
that really
I mean,
is.
and 70 is kind of a milestone birthday.
Yeah.
You got to slow down on marijuana.
Yeah, that's a huge gap.
I mean, go ahead, smoke it, but just slow down a little bit.
I still don't think it's going to tax a 70-year-old too much to get him a cat.
Especially
but anyway.
You look at your dad. He's a young man.
Right.
He's not. Your dad is, except for 70, he's great.
Where were you going with this?
So this person says, regarding committing to something at an older age. This guy says, I'm 47 and I don't buy green bananas. It's going to outlive him.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks.
A man is fed up with flat earthers. And he started a crowdfunding type of a thing to prove once and for all that our planet is round. His name is Mark Gauld. He describes himself as an annoyed Scot. And he set up this GoFundMe page to send a flat earther into orbit. And he's dead serious about this. Despite overwhelming evidence that our planet is round, some corners of the internet still believe that if you travel to the edge, you'll fall off.
I don't know that I've ever met a flat earther.
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah, and I did enjoy it.
How did the topic come up? Was it someone that just wanted you to know they felt that way, or?
No, it's
sorry.
somebody that I've known for a while, and then I became Facebook friends with them.
Oh,
and
so you've
found
seen
out,
it? Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
They say if you just keep walking, at one point or another, you'll fall smooth off.
I used to think that when I
love
was
to see somebody try.
I thought that when I was a little kid.
You did?
Yeah, and maybe I've been lied to all these years that it won't happen.
Well, from what I'm reading here, flat earthers say this idea that the world is round is a NASA scam. NASA, they're scamming us. It's NASA.
What would they get out of that?
Well, just a few laughs, I guess, just to make us all look foolish.
I always wonder that with some of these conspiracy theories. Like, what's the point? Why would somebody be motivated by that?
Yeah, I don't get a lot of it. This Mark guy says if he sends a flat earther into space, maybe he can finally straighten some of these folks out on the topic.
That's pretty funny. That's really passive-aggressive. Or is that not passive? That's just aggressive. I don't know.
I don't know how to define it.
That's funny.
He's told some of the local papers in his neighborhood that he hoped whoever returned from their trip to space would then convince the other flat earthers that their theory is a load of garbage. He says, I have a couple of friends that are flat earthers, and it drives me crazy. They're total nonsense that they speak. They call astronauts actors who are paid to lie. And that boils my blood because these are guys who barely hold down jobs and do nothing. So to talk about astronauts like that, I don't know where they get off. This dude is pissed.
He's pretty funny.
He has a long way to go before reaching his goal. His funding goal is $345,000. He says in a bid to hit this mark, he is attempting to rope in some of the biggest names in space exploration. He said, I decided to give flat earthers the chance to put their money where their mouth is for once, and the only way I could do it is by sending a high-ranking flat earther into space. He says, I've contacted Elon Musk and Richard Branson to get their support on waiting for a reply. Now, remind me of who those people are.
Elon Musk, he is the guy behind Tesla and I believe SpaceX.
Mm-hmm.
And Branson is the Virgin guy, Virgin Mobile, Virgin Airlines.
Okay, and they're both flat earthers?
No, they have. He has a space plan too, I believe.
Okay,
like they, are developing a space program.
Could talk to Jeff Bezos too.
Some way, yeah. Isn't he doing something similar?
Yeah, he's with Blue Origin.
Blue Origin?
Yeah, they're trying to make that giant spaceship where they can send normal people up to space.
Oh,
well, not
I'm in.
normal, but
what do you mean?
If you have money.
I'm in.
You mean civilians?
Yeah.
Civilians into space?
Okay, so
I'd pretend I was a flat earther to get a free ride, but then I'd feel kind of guilty about it.
Right? Yeah.
Because he would have blown all that money and wouldn't get what he wanted.
You couldn't get me within 5 miles of a space shuttle.
Oh, I would never.
What?
I would poop my pants.
I would immediately if I ever had the chance to go to space.
Well, yeah, you're nuts, though. You're nuts, and you're young. You don't get it yet. You just don't get it.
If I had to choose, I feel like I had this question earlier. If I had to choose right now, if I went up to space, but I would die up there, no more life down here, versus living a full life on Earth, I'd rather go to space.
Really? That's how much you want to go, huh?
Hang on a second. Let me get this
I feel
straight.
like that'd be so cool.
You would choose to go to space, they drop you off on a planet, and you just drop dead. You'd choose that over living your entire life on planet Earth.
Yep.
I'd consider
Absolutely.
it if they had a Chipotle. But as far as I know, they're all flat Earth-bound locations.
So tomorrow, Ashley, if they said we can get you on a space shuttle and it takes us a week to get up to the planet, we drop you off, you die, you say, I'm in, as opposed to staying here.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to see that.
Just for the ride. Just for the ride?
Well,
just to be there.
For the destination, not necessarily the ride, but yeah.
But you don't really get to enjoy the destination. As soon as they drop you off, you die.
Well, you're up there for a while. I mean,
there's no up there for a while. There's no up there for a while.
Maybe there's a Radisson or a Motel 6.
Could you send a postcard?
Let's just keep perspective, Josh. Isn't that what you said a couple days ago? Everything's about perspective.
That's what life is. It's perspective.
This is the same woman yesterday who said she would have a tattoo. She would accept a tattoo on her body that said, "Whoever smelt it, dealt it."
I really just don't care.
You crazy, girl.
That's one of my favorite Abraham Lincoln quotes, by the way. Presidential quotes. And by the way, I was mistaken. This text says Richard Branson isn't the Virgin guy. That's Wapple.
Oh, my damn.
And Branson runs Virgin Galactic. That's his space program.
That took me way too long to get that.
What? You didn't get the Virgin?
No. I didn't get it at first. I'm like, wait a minute.
I thought you were going to make the joke yourself.
This guy's hoping to get this launch underway later this year, where he's going to send flat earthers to space. He says he's 100% serious, and your donations are greatly appreciated.
Got somebody who works with a flat earther.
Yeah.
They say, I work with a flat earther, but he also smoked meth in high school. So
I like that. So
I do like the so at the end, too.
Now, let's say you're new to this topic. It says here, the rise of the internet and social media has allowed false conspiracies like the flat earth theory to flourish.
Well, conspiracies, let's not say false conspiracies.
Okay. Yeah, these aren't my words. This is the article that I'm reading. And there are some badass crazy theories out there. Woo-wee! The flat earth theory, that is kid stuff compared to some of the things.
No kidding.
Woo-wee!
You know, I like globes for whatever reason.
Globes, yeah.
There's certain, I don't know, I guess a decoration, I don't know what else to say, but certain things I kind of am into, and globes are one of them.
Do you have a globe in the house that you can spin around and round and round?
Well, mine's just a piece of paper right now. It's just one
oh my God.
drawing of the world, which more accurately represents what we're all standing on.
I see, sure.
No, I do. I have a globe. I love it. I don't know why. Really enjoy it. One of those weird things.
Well, I mean, I hear you. I haven't seen one of those since grade school. Now, I think I remember this, but this could just be, the beer talking. Last year, a man died after launching himself in the air using a homemade rocket in a bid to prove the Earth was flat?
Mm-hmm.
That really happened? What was the idea of launching himself up in the air? If you want to prove the world is flat, just start walking. Why did he launch himself up into the air?
He wanted to see.
So he could see. Oh, he thought if he got high enough, he could see the end of the...
Yeah.
Oh.
That's that Mad Mike Hughes.
That's what it says here. Well, that's a terrible story. I feel awful. But he really was that dead set on proving that the Earth was flat, or was that just a spin to get more attention for his stunt? I mean, I feel terrible. This man died for this?
You know what doesn't spin? Our flat Earth.
You son of a bitch. Yeah, the thing is that some people, even the sane ones, it doesn't matter what evidence you show them. They will just refuse to admit they're wrong for one reason or another. Some just want to be different and enjoy the attention. Yeah. You can exhaust yourself, and they're just not going to change their opinion.
This person says, I believe the moon landing was staged, but I believe we've landed on the moon since. I'm a man of science, but I'm skeptical.
Okay, right. Mr. Scientist.
Oh!
I think I fall in the line of sheeple. Somebody will say, we landed on the moon, and I'll go, okay, cool.
Yep, same here.
I never go, wait a minute. Didn't that guy star in Planet of the Apes? That astronaut there? That's an actor. I've never been one of those folks. I don't think I'm a deep enough thinker.
So when is this shuttle going to be ready to send just your average rich citizen up into space? Anyone know? Wapple brought it up a minute ago.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think they've had some ideas when they wanted to do it, but then like a rocket blows up.
Yeah. I've seen designs of it.
Ashley, how are you going to explain this to your parents or your fiance that, hey, I made a deal. I'm going to fly up into the space, to the outer space, and then when they're going to drop me off on a planet, I'm going to die. I choose that over living here on Earth. How do you think you're going to explain that to those people?
Both of them already know about that,
so
about the way I feel.
They know if you get a ticket, you're just going to be gone, and then we'll read your obituary a week later.
Yeah, they just know that it's never going to be possible for me, so they're just like, okay.
Goat Truckin' Jesus wants us all to know that his wife is not flat. Not at all. While the Earth may be, Goat Truckin' Jesus' wife, she ain't flat.
Thank you for that.
I'll tell you this, Ashley. You have plenty of people who agree with you.
Nice.
A couple other people are worried your brain cells have committed suicide. But there's plenty of people who feel the same. They would love an opportunity to do just that, even if it meant their life ends early.
Instant death. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Now, what is this now? Now, this is the way to go. Not being flown up into space. You vomit all over yourself, right? You're trapped. You're locked into something.
I would definitely puke.
It's just floating there. And then you try and get away from it, but then you walk right back into it.
It's just in your helmet, too.
Right. I got a way to go. I got the way to go. Not being strapped on some garbage pile spaceship and they whip you up there, you vomit, like Josh was saying. You're wallowing in your then they drop you off on a planet and you drop dead. That's not the way to go.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks. Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
We're having a real conversation as real estate investors.
New episodes available every day.
It's important to buy where it makes money and not necessarily where you want to travel to.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
The purpose of flipping is to create more cash so then you can reinvest into other types of properties.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast, on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Dudes who played with David Ortiz have been telling some stories about him lately,
I've read a couple of those this morning.
As you might imagine.
Yeah.
Including former Twins all-timer.
He was a character. There's no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Did you get to know him at all, Brad?
Yeah, a little bit, because that's when I was with the Twins. He'd come in our PR office, and we'd be on the floor laughing by the time he left.
Oh, yeah. He was a character.
What was the whole story again with him getting shot?
Oh, yeah. God, I forgot about that.
That was over in where he's from, right?
Yeah. What, I forget, was he...
Dominican Republic?
Yeah.
Unintended target, or did
I forget the whole thing.
Well, we talked about him being a part of some sort of a gangster kind of a deal, right?
Yeah, there were some allegations.
A mob allegation.
There were some allegations that he was...
So,
rumors.
having an affair, wasn't it?
Yes.
Isn't that the rumor?
Yeah, there were rumors going on.
Having an affair with some mob boss's wife or something.
Geez.
Damn, man.
Yeah. But it wasn't true, and then they went out to get him.
Yeah. Well, I think it was proved that he was not the intended target. He just happened to be there.
Yeah. Looking on Wikipedia, it says, it was a mistake.
That's correct.
He looked like somebody or resembled somebody who they were after. But that was the story, yeah.
I mean, the guy damn near died.
Who in the Dominican Republic doesn't recognize David Ortiz, though?
I remember us talking about that at the time.
The whole thing just shady.
I mean, he's just...
Very, very shady. Hey, you know what? And, okay, so it was proven that it wasn't true. He was banging some other... But, I mean, I'm all for side action, but can you imagine... shacking up with a mob boss's wife?
No.
Yeah, you're rolling the dice there big time.
How big of balls do you have?
Would you ever get sleep?
Oh, God,
no. Why do I keep waking up with these horse heads in the bed?
We were talking briefly earlier about, those one-night stands you have, and the whole next day you're just sweating bullets, wondering, oh, my God, what have I done? Imagine waking up the next day and saying, I threw down a mob boss's wife. I think you'd find me backpacking in Antarctica somewhere.
Well, you could make your own funeral plans, in the time that you were waiting for them to come and get you.
That'd be terrifying.
Did Doug Menkiewicz get in? No. Listeners texted me, is Scott Leyes in the hall? Scotty Leyes, one of the most fun dudes I've ever had a brief amount of time to get to know. We hung out a little bit back in the day, and boy, was he a nice guy. Nice guy. Big, tall, handsome sumbitch. And I think he was neighbors with Daryl Thompson.
Sure.
If you're a lady in that neighborhood, you want to talk about sleepless nights. Imagine being a single lady and you live in Daryl Thompson and Scott Leyes' neighborhood. You'd have a telescope like Ross used to have hanging out his mom's window. How do you concentrate when Scotty Leyes and Daryl Thompson are in the neighborhood, ladies? So people are telling stories about David Ortiz, including Torrey Hunter. He told the story, maybe Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver know this story already. He told the story about a time when another former twin, Corey Koski, who's here in town.
Is this the peanut butter story?
When Corey Koski put peanut butter in Ortiz's underwear.
Actually, I think he put it in his pocket because Ortiz put it in a pocket where his keys were.
Well, I got the underwear story. Maybe there's two separate peanut
a couple
butter.
Of them. Yeah, this is all during spring training.
The story that Torrey tells is that Corey Koski put peanut butter in Ortiz's underwears when he wasn't looking, and it took longer than they thought for Ortiz to notice that he had peanut butter in his underwears.
I bet that's not the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure there's worse.
Well, I can tell you a dozen stories where I had a experience very similar to peanut butter, if you'd like to sit through those stories.
Creamy or chunky?
Oh, my God.
That matters.
That's gross.
I used to have kind of a bad tummy. You're gross.
God, Josh.
Me?
Yeah.
He blames you.
I'm sorry I'm the only legitimate reporter on this show. I just want to know the facts.
Question didn't bother me, Josh.
I know. We're in love.
So this is just, typical locker room hijinks after a ball game. Torrey Hunter said, Corey put peanut butter in the middle of David Ortiz's underwears. The game's over, so all of us, we took showers. David's always talking trash, laughing, cracking jokes. He gets in the shower. That's when they put the peanut butter in there. And everyone's sitting in their locker. Nobody's leaving because they know what Corey did and they want to see what happens. So Ortiz gets out of the shower. He walks over to his locker. He gets his shirt on. He puts his socks on. Then he puts on his underwear. And he just keeps going. He puts his pants on. He ties his shoes. He takes a couple of steps.
How did you not notice that?
That's got to be so frustrating. You're sitting there waiting.
Yeah. And Torrey Hunter says, we're all just sitting there like, wow, how has he not felt that yet? In the middle of his stride, Ortiz stops and he pauses like something wasn't right. He turns around and says to the boys, you mother effers. Torrey says we were falling out of our chairs, crying, laughing. And we was all like, are you used to having something in between your underwear?
That feels normal to me.
Was Corey...
Knowing him just a little bit, that is exactly how he would have replied to. He deadpanned everything.
Was Corey Koski a known prankster?
Yeah. There were a few in that group. Him, Minkiewicz, Denny Hawking, those guys did it all the time.
We got more questions here. More questions coming in from Twins fans. Is Laudner in yet? What about Mike Redmond? What about Lou Ford?
Naked guy.
Lou Ford. There was another guy those guys went after a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make us play the audio of when Redmond pulled the chute again.
Yes.
Oh, God.
The triple?
Yes.
The infamous triple?
Naked guy? That was a Mike Redmond thing. He was noted for walking around naked. Is that what you were saying, Dana?
Yeah, he would strut around the locker room naked all the time.
He took batting practice naked one day.
Uh-huh.
Did he really?
Yes. He was in a slump, and he went and took batting practice naked one day.
These days, they'd run him right out of the big leagues.
There's one time...
Redmond laces one to center field. That might run the gap. Goodness gracious.
Oh, go. Keep going, Red. Keep going.
Here he goes.
Find it. Second wind. I need a second wind, please. Oh, he's starting to slide.
A triple for Mike Redmond.
Look at him look in the dugout.
You want to look it up first?
That is the first triple for Mike Redmond since 2003.
I thought that Christian Guzman and Gardy were going to put peanut butter in their underwear. They were laughing. They were laughing so hard at Redmond falling on his face there at third, exhausted.
My favorite Redmond story in 2006. They had that great Twins team that won on the last day of the season. I was an intern at KFAN at the time, and one of my duties was to go get Twins audio in the locker room afterwards. So It was a Sunday getaway day late in the season, and they were heading to New York after. And Redmond stands up on the table holding his pants, his slacks, he's going to put on to go get on the plane. And he goes, boys, we're going to New York and we're doing it classy. no underwear, and then just proceeds to put his pants on and show that he's not going to wear underwear on the flight.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks.
A family in Canada ordered Domino's pizza last Tuesday. And within 30 minutes, their 12-year-old cat was stolen by the delivery driver.
What? That's not how the guarantee's supposed to operate.
You get a pizza, we get a cat. I think it sounds like a fair trade.
Yeah.
I'm not a cat guy, so I'd willingly trade a cat for a pizza.
You want to know the cat's name? It's kind of cute.
Yes.
I imagine there's a sitcom connection here, but I know personally I never saw it. The cat's name is Dwight.
That's cute.
I hear
Office,
that.
yeah.
The Office.
The Office.
Mm-hmm. I like animals with human names.
Yeah, me too.
Wapple, your thoughts?
I don't like them.
He does not like
I know he doesn't.
I forgot. You're a huge hater.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me. We've discussed this before. When you name a pet, you want it to be Mittens or something cute like that, like you're a 3-year-old. I don't get that.
Yeah, it's just weird. Someone's calling Henry, and it's the dog's name, and your friend's Henry. Yeah.
How many friends you got named Henry, Wapple?
2.
Two of them.
Really?
Yeah. He's never met a guy named Henry.
There was a national contest for pet names, and a Tennessee dog won with Dr. Potato Head, a French bulldog.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, here's the deal. So this family has doorbell surveillance footage that shows this driver walking off their porch with Dwight in his damn arms, broad daylight. He puts the cat in his car and he drives smooth off.
Did he deliver the pizza first and then steal the cat?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay?
Well, it matters. It matters because, like, what if they got their cat stolen and then they also didn't get their pizza?
That would be worse.
Yes.
You don't want to go hungry after your cat got stolen.
Although if my pet got stolen, I might ignore the pizza, to be honest with you.
Really? See, I'd finish the pizza and deal with the animal later.
No, you wouldn't.
Nah, I wouldn't.
You would not.
Not your little pooch that you talk about named Kent Herbeck or something like that?
Tory Joe.
Tory, yeah. I knew it was a twin.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. So this family calls Domino's after they realize their cat has been stolen. And they talk to the driver. I love that part.
Got your cat, bitches.
I can just picture the driver getting on the phone. Hello, you know what I mean? Dude, yeah, we're the family. Where the hell's our cat? He claims he thought the cat was a stray.
Okay.
But that doesn't make any sense because he told them he no longer has the cat. He abandoned the damn thing 6 miles down the road.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah, what a derelict.
Here's a clip of the guy.
He just kept telling me I thought it was a stray cat.
Why didn't you bring him to the SPCA? If you can't keep the animal and you're so concerned for its welfare, why did you dump it?
Like, I'm just going to keep going. I cannot rest or stay here or be here knowing my cat is up there with no food, no water, alone,
scared.
No shelter.
Poor cat.
What a derelict. Dwight is not an outdoor cat, but he occasionally does sit on the porch.
I'm also not an outdoor cat.
No, you really aren't. That would not be a way to describe you, Josh.
Would you go on the porch?
I'd go on a porch if it was screened in or climate controlled.
He likes a cold glass of lemonade out there on the porch.
How's the Wi-Fi on the porch? Is it decent?
It's decent.
Might need a hotspot out there for Josh then.
The good news is Dwight is back home.
Good.
The family had started a social media campaign, and he was found safe. So I guess that's how it worked. As for the driver, the police are still investigating. It's also unclear if the guy worked for Domino's or if he worked for a delivery service. I think if you steal my pet, I should be allowed to punch you square in the face.
I agree with that. I think there's a lot of crimes like that where the family should get to choose.
Yeah.
And
do you get to kick them 13 times in the nuts, or do you want them to spend 6 days in jail?
Yep.
Whatever the alternative is.
And to punch you in the face, that's if I get my pet back. If you steal my pet and I don't get it back,
oh boy.
Let the cat attack. Give the cat an opportunity. That's the victim here.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
And you can, wait a minute now.
Right.
You can order Domino's from a different delivery service?
I don't know.
That seems like
I think sometimes they like hire out drivers, who do DoorDash and stuff like that. They might not have their own
Versus not
staff
having
of
their own.
drivers.
It gets too busy and all that. Okay.
I was going to say, it seems like you'd just be adding money onto your bill for no reason.
I would like to pay $10 extra.
For the same service you offer for far less.
Now, staying with pussycats here, this is a hell of a deal. If there's one thing that could make you seem more attractive, would you believe it's cat poop?
That would never come to mind.
No.
Unless you're comparing me to cat poop, hopefully you'd say I was more attractive.
I remember the night at the restaurant where the chef forced Josh to lick the cat poop.
I put up maybe not a good fight.
No, you argued for a while.
But he didn't want to listen whatsoever. I've got actually a clip of it if you want to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, Tino, thank you. Thank you for letting me come in here. I'm glad I can still get a good meal.
Oh, yeah, sure. Here you are, Mr. Burgundy. The chef made it special for you. You eat that for the way you talk about my city.
I will not eat that.
You are going to eat that cat poop.
I will not eat cat poop.
You will eat cat poop.
Ron Burgundy says no.
You make a fool of me and everyone here. You put that cat poop in your mouth.
I will not eat cat poop.
You will do it immediately.
Fine, I'll try to eat one.
Okay, get in there.
If I take one bite, will you get me a steak?
I'll think about it.
At this restaurant, they knew Josh by the name of Ron Burgundy. Oh, I forgot. I got my movies mixed up. In Anchor Dude, he had to eat the cat poop. In Step Brothers, he had to lick a dog turd.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Common theme in your Will Ferrell movies.
Yeah.
I will not eat cat poop.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.